Hello everyone and welcome to today's special edition of Better Advertising with Better AMS. We are incredibly excited to have the opportunity to interview everyone from the unBoxed Keynotes. So all the big announcements that were covered earlier this morning, we're going to dive a little bit deeper and talk to the actual experts that are building these tools for us at Amazon. So let's join in on the first conversation today between Destiny and Teresa Uthrault from Amazon.
Hey, hi Destiny.
Hello.
How are you?
I am fantastic.
It's so awesome to see you here.
I am pumped. I think this is going to be amazing.
And it's a good week. So I guess for your audience, I'm Teresa Uthrault and I lead partner development here at Amazon Ads. And I've been at Amazon for almost 10 years. It'll be my 10-year anniversary in November.
We should unpack that at some point.
I know.
That is a long time.
It's a long time. You know, we get a red badge. We get a special badge.
It's
when we
exciting.
make it to the 10-year mark. So I'm looking forward to picking up my red badge. And I guess I love that I started out in our stores business, and I was actually a digital marketer. So, and one of the reasons I love my role now is I'm like, our partners are solving all the problems that were keeping me up at night. So I'm like, this is awesome. I wish I'd had these partners. And then from there, I ran our partner programs at AWS. So I've got to work with our cloud team. And now I am running partner development for ads, which is really great.
That is amazing. That is a long time to be in the space. So much has changed.
Yes.
We were talking about that earlier. I've been in the space for, I think, 7 years now.
You've been in the room where it happened.
Everything has changed. All the acronyms, all of the naming of everything. And It's just so much to keep up with. With that, what are your most exciting updates from this morning? Anything you're just super pumped for?
Yeah, well, a lot of things, right? I think the partner things that we're super excited about is, continuing to build on the goodness of Amazon Marketing Stream. I joined this team a few weeks before Cannes last year, so I showed up at Cannes for the first time meeting all my partners, still kind of trying to learn the business, right? Drinking from the proverbial fire hose. And we had just launched the first version of Amazon Marketing Stream, right? And I was like, wow, this product is so awesome. But what I really loved about it was when I learned the origin story, right? That actually partners had given feedback to our product teams. Hey, if we had more granular insights, if we had more granular signals, we could do so much more for brands with this. And that actually, because partners have such a great seat at the table with our product teams, that there was actually this ideation around this new product, and this product actually came to life based on partner feedback. And I was like, that's awesome. But of course, after we launched it, everyone was like, that's so great, but we want more.
Yes,
right.
Always.
And so we're getting more now, right? We're getting the ADSP signals, which is really, really exciting.
It's amazing. I mean, we're getting everything all put together. And I remember a few years ago, day parting was always a hot topic of hey, how do we better utilize budget distribution? And in my opinion, when we didn't have those insights, I was the biggest advocate of, we don't know if someone is shopping at night and purchasing later. So I'd always be like, no day parting, directly off ad console, we got to hold off. And then Amazon Marketing Stream came out and I was like, okay, anyone who's listened to any of my previous podcasts, I take it back. We now have access to the appropriate information to make this happen. And I think the most exciting part is obviously the focus on efficiency, really being able to incorporate and tell the full story. That's something that we've been pushing along, is it's not just sponsored products anymore. It's sponsored products, it's DSP, it's combining bottom of the funnel with upper funnel, and Amazon has the audiences to do that. And now you're giving us the insights to also tie it all together.
Right.
I think a question we see come up pretty often is okay, now what do I do with all of this, right? I have Stream, I have AMC. Is there any just quick, actionable things you've seen brands take from Amazon Marketing Stream and just almost immediately utilize that's driven performance improvements?
Right. Well, I think that's one of the things that I think is so exciting about this is a year where there's a lot of economic uncertainty, right? And folks are trying to find ways to do more with less. Marketers are being asked to do more with less. And what Amazon Marketing Stream, and we haven't talked about rapid retail analytics yet, but I think both of them are really enabling partners to build solutions that really deliver economic value for brands, that really help them do more with less. And we see exciting evidence of that every day, but especially around tentpole events, there's some really great success stories of how partners have, now that we've got this robust toolkit, putting all these pieces together, putting together a custom solution, really thinking through how do we reimagine your Prime Day strategy now that we have this wealth of insights, which is really exciting.
100%. So Justin here manages one of our accounts, and when we were managing for Prime Day, it was around 10 a.m. and we have our first call, checking in on everything, and I was like, I think sales are way better than what we were expecting, to the point where it's almost this panic moment. So we're hopping in, like checking everything on like retail analytics, and we're like, no, yeah, sales are 100% up because Amazon advertising was so efficient through that. And it was a really good use case for us and how we can do a better job, especially with like budget distribution throughout the day, making sure we're always on. Because I think at night we end up having to turn off budgets for a few of our campaigns, but is because Prime Day was so successful for us. So we've really been trying to back into some of those new insights to do a better job of being evergreen, making sure our lead-in period for the tentpole events is appropriate, or even lead out as well. I think that's another big aspect people miss.
Like that's I think a whole new set of insights that previously perhaps weren't as evident.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yes.
And again, a lot of people I think just think of that checkout done. It's really starting to tell, the full picture of, hey, we drove this impression here, but it led to an improvement in conversion rate here, and telling that full story, because you don't want to be the one that's just directly trying to compete with everyone else share of shelf. It's like, how do we drive that awareness before they're ever ready to even check out?
And really improving visibility on like what is that customer lifetime value.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, 100%. And we have those insights now, which is exciting, especially across AMC. Yes. I think that's been one of our favorite ones to roll out and really help incorporate and tell that story. And I think it's going to be a fun balance. Something we're seeing is it's a lot being thrown at brands. Is there anything that you think is really being utilized just immediately that brands really need to take note and make sure they're incorporating into their strategies?
So look, I think this is why the shortest way to answer this is work with a partner, right?
Yes.
Because I think partners know, look, we are humbled. Sometimes our partners know our products almost better than we do, right? Like you guys are in those betas, really early adopters, giving us this critical feedback, really helping us be the best version of ourselves possible, right? And so I think what partners do so well is they really understand the brand's business almost as well as their own. And then they understand both the online retail business as well as the advertising business, right? And all the pieces, like how do we put together all these different exciting tools that we just talked about to come up with a custom strategy for a brand. So that would be my high level advice to a brand. And then I would start thinking about okay, well now that there are these hourly signals, right? I'm at this level of granularity. What should I be doing? How should I be changing my strategies to make myself smarter because I have access to this? Okay, there's this thing called Amazon Marketing Cloud. What are some actionable things that I can do? Am I able to finally understand my customer path to purchase? Can I understand incrementality? If I'm a DTC brand, am I able to finally understand how much of my growth on Amazon is actually incremental compared to my channel, right? These are some really great questions that I think brands should be asking.
100%. There's a lot of questions out there right now. Well, I think we're about to close up yet. One more question here. What are you most excited for in the next year?
God, most excited. I'm most excited to see what our partners do with everything that we announced today.
Yes, 100%. I think one of the things I'm most excited for is the creative capabilities. I think obviously around generative AI and having more access for sponsor brands images, but also creative through TV. I think a lot of video access and a lot of ways to actually connect directly with our audience.
Yes, it's a super exciting time to be an SMB brand, right?
Yes, not a lot of sleep, keeping up with all the changes, but that's what we're here for.
Yes, exactly.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you, Destiny. Woo.
Well, hi, everybody, and Destiny and team. It's exciting to be here with you today, especially given it's unboxed and there's a lot of unveiling that's happening. I am Ruslana Zbagerska. I'm Vice President of Sponsor Brands, Display and TV Advertising at Amazon. And I'm super excited to be here with you today.
Amazing. We are super excited as well. For all of our followers, they know this is our favorite topic. Everything Sponsor Brands, Sponsor Display, our original name, AMS, was actually built off the old days of headline search ads, product display ads. So we have been a very big advocate since day one. I think one of the most exciting updates we have today is the addition of Sponsor TV being layered into that mix. So do you want to tell us a little bit about that announcement?
Well, yeah, absolutely. So Sponsored TV is one of the ways how we're hoping to democratize TV buying and help brands of any size to tap into this opportunity. If you think about TV advertising, if you think about brand building, TV advertising is an essential part of it. And we don't think it should be out of reach for anybody. And so with launch of sponsored TV, working backwards from our advertisers, our customers, we have been focused on kind of key pain points to help them see the opportunity and feel empowered to take advantage of it. And so one key, three key pain points, if you wish, that sponsored TV is really tackling from get-go. One is our brands are intimidated by this minimum spend and upfront requirements, if you wish. They find creative challenging. Like, even if you know the type of creative you need to build and kind of understand the specs, putting that together is hard, and it tends to be expensive still. And lastly, the understanding the value that TV brings is still very difficult. And so sponsored TV is starting with unlocking these three key pain points, or removing these three pain points, right? No spend minimum, no upfront commitment. We are offering, so obviously you could reuse your creative if you have, and if you have something that you're using across other channels, we could tweak it to meet the requirements, so you can get started super easily. But if you do not have the right creative, we are offering creative services, so we can help you engage with your brand and your customers and really tell your brand story. And lastly, the sponsored TV campaigns are powered by our machine learning models that as a result, even though you're advertising on TV, you are benefiting from Amazon first-party signals, shopping and entertainment signals.
This is amazing. Truly one of my favorite updates of today. I already had someone ask me on LinkedIn of, hey, you're going to have to rate all of these. I was like, no, I already know what one it's going to be. Because I think
this is the largest announcement, so I'm glad.
Yes, 100%. I mean, just access to a lot of the insights that you are pulling. You already have the audiences. You already have the platform for it. And a conversation we have frequently with brands is, everyone loves to see their brand on TV because you're driving that awareness before the person a customer even decides that they're going to purchase. I think a struggle we've seen outside of the variables that you're solving is the insights that they need to back into to justify success. And I think, something as simple as your insights and planning tab within advertising console. All of our brands that are utilizing like maybe streaming or anything they're doing off platform, we're saying, hey, go into insights and planning and back into your branded search metrics, because you all are now giving us that access. And I think this is another opportunity, even better, because now we don't have minimums or commitments. Go test it. There is 0% risk in going to test this. And then you can, layer in your branded searches. When people see this ad off platform, are they going to Amazon and searching for our brand name? That's right. And there's really nothing missing anymore, in my opinion. I mean, I'm a little bit biased here because I'm, again, super excited, but the access to the audiences you have is going to unlock a ton of potential for brands.
And I think that's the key value for brands here, right? Engaging with these audiences that are quite involved, if you wish, right? Like the latest stat was that viewers are watching almost 2 hours a day. I don't know when people find 2 hours a day to watch TV, but they're watching 2 hours a day of video on streaming TV, which is our freebie solution, for example, is one of these examples, right, where this engaged audience is. So it's a great opportunity for brands, right, to engage with this audience in a now at ease, right? The other element here that I am especially excited about is the opportunity this creates for our viewers, right? To discover new brands, new products, kind of diversity of the content that we're able to introduce with the sponsored TV offering.
100%. I mean, TV, I feel like, in my opinion, has always been a little bit limited. I can name the top 5 commercials I've seen for the last 20 years of existence here. And now you're giving anyone that opportunity to unlock that audience. So the exposure, as you mentioned, for brands, but also being able to, hey, let's go watch something. And then, like you said, I'm going to see maybe a new to market brand, someone that maybe doesn't have the $50,000 to go invest in a crazy TV package. No one else is doing that. And I think it's a lot of loyalty and maturity of seeing a commercial relative to maybe an ad you see while scrolling socials. I think that's super exciting.
We are equally as excited.
Do you plan to have any, creative controls, or brands, should they be split testing creative with this type of video, or what does that look like?
Well, it's early for sponsored TV. We're literally just dialing up as we speak. And there's a lot that will be happening in the future as we unfold the product. But it's like, week 1, day 7. It's always day 1 at Amazon.
It's always day 1.
Exactly. So there's a lot that likely will happen in the future, which I will not speculate about today. But at this point, there's an easy way to reuse a creative or work with our creative team to build one.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. I mean, I'll give a huge shout out to everything we've seen on just the Sponsored Brands video side or incorporating sponsored display video. And we now have the opportunity to add multiple lifestyle images to Sponsored Brand and Sponsored Brand carousels. And we've seen the success and the impact adding that creativity has. So I can only imagine what this unlocks. I think something that we really try to preach here is kind of the right KPIs to look at when you're running these types of tactics. Sponsored products is literally the last, point of purchase. Someone has already typed in what they're wanting to buy. They've already clicked on your ad. They're ready to check out. But when you're running this type of video, you do have to look at more of a lens of awareness, right? It's more disruptive. Are you seeing any specific KPIs that brands really need to make sure they're backing into to judge success on this ad type?
Before I answer your question, one thing I wanted to make sure you didn't miss out in our announcements today is generative AI image available in Sponsored Brands today, and ability to really represent your product in a more lifestyle way across our store. And I think that's an exciting creative capability that I'm super excited about, and the opportunity it will create for our brands to really resonate with our shoppers in a much more hands-on way. In terms of the KPIs, as you mentioned earlier, branded impressions or branded searches specifically, and the growth of that's the key element that our brands are currently looking at and are excited about, as well as the traffic to their store, to see when they're running the campaign, or is there brand awareness, and if so, what happens to my branded searches. And that's the metrics that are available, in addition to more traditional reach metrics that you'd find in any other TV product.
Amazing. Well, we are obviously incredibly excited. I think all of the new rollouts around creative, like you said, are giving brands the opportunity to actually connect and to stand out on the shelf. So thank you so much for everything you presented and all of the announcements today. And we're, again, super excited.
Thank you for having me, Destiny. Appreciate the time.
Perfect. Well, thank you for having me. I'm Kelly McLean. I support our Amazon demand side platform, and really excited to be chatting with you all today. We've been continuing to invest since unBoxed 2022, achieving our goals, really thinking long term. We've made a lot of investments in interoperability across our ad stack, and have a lot of really exciting announcements today. We're thrilled to talk through, and again, underpinning everything that we're doing is really customer trust, and so using that as the foundation of a lot of the launches that we've been talking through about Amazon Publisher Cloud, a lot of the performance improvements we've made in the DSP channel, cross-channel planning capabilities, and so much more. So nice to meet with you all, and excited to chat through any or all of this, depending on how we go.
Of course, we are super excited. Mm-hmm. I think a key theme we pulled from today, and just in general our conversation with brands, is that Amazon has really expanded into being a much larger audience than I think people are aware of. For the longest time, it was just that bottom of the funnel conversion rate. Sponsored products are amazing, right? And we're starting to see that expand into so much more. How do you all see brands who are really incorporating full funnel management tying together that bottom of the funnel with upper funnel tactics?
Yeah, really, really good question. And you're right. I think one of the things I'm most excited about is, we can deliver solutions full funnel on Amazon and off. And so I think a lot of the launches we've been talking about this week, one cross-channel planner in particular, right, is a nice way to really think through your spend from awareness consideration through to conversion, and think about how you can continue to scale and grow your business. We actually have an interesting case study that I'll share the stat with you all on, but we had a baby brand was trying to reach relevant audiences and allocate spend more effectively. And so they used Cross-Channel Planner, activated through the DSP, and leveraged custom unique banner ads. And they actually drew new shoppers to their online store, resulting in a 4.5 times click-through rate and 11% increase in purchase rate. So that's just one example, but we really are encouraging marketers to leverage Amazon Marketing Cloud, layer on their audiences with any third-party audience data, leveraging all of the great signals from Amazon to continue to activate and drive drive outcomes.
That is amazing. I recently did a post and the title of it was "We're spoiled from sponsored product ads." And it's because they've always driven such strong conversion that I think a lot of people just assume it's point, click, done, end of story. And I know specifically for one of Justin's brands here, we were pulling some of the AMC insights for a high price point product, and it said the highest path to purchase conversion was 19 views of a sponsored product ad. And we were able to go to the client and be like, this is why we need to expand. This is why you need all of the ad types, because something as simple as your sponsored product frequency can really affect that likelihood of conversion. And now we're able to tie in those metrics, hey, this streaming TV offline drives the awareness, but it improves our conversion rate on that sponsored product ad. And I think that's the part that people are missing, is that it is, full funnel. It's not just running this segmented and then having your budgets all siloed. And seeing you all piece together all of these insights has been fantastic. You're giving them the key. That's great. I think it's just the ability to activate on it is maybe where people are getting a little bit overwhelmed. Do you have any recommendations on here's the things that we really think that you need to look at or back into to make sure their full funnel strategies in place?
Yeah. So I think, again, one of the big pieces of feedback we've heard from working back from our customers for the demand side platform is that it's very complex. It's hard to use, right? We want a better user interface. And so we've really invested in overhauling our user interface and making it much more goal-based. And so we've been talking about goal-based user interface, goal-based bidding. And that's really going to simplify, right? So to your point, for marketers, it's what is your objective, right? What business outcome are you trying to achieve? And flipping that mental model. So we're not leading with a product, targeting audience-centered story. It's what are you trying to achieve? And so we're really excited. I think you can set your target KPI, you can anchor on specific performance goals that you have, and then on the back end, we're leveraging deep learning and machine learning models to make sure that we're delivering the right ad to that right placement, and we've actually seen significant performance. We've actually seen CPAs reduced by over 40% with a lot of the machine learning implementations that we've made. So tremendous improvement, and we're excited to continue to build on that.
That is amazing. I think, like you mentioned, the UI can be a little bit of a hurdle, and just accessibility, of course, can be a little bit of a hurdle. So we find that a lot of people don't realize how granular you can get with your DSP targeting, and it's fun story to tell when you start explaining, hey, this isn't just about impressions and awareness. We can really back into some of the audience insights and, like we said, some of that path to purchase, and make sure we're really dialing in. Is there anything you see on the creative side that brands are doing really well or testing when it comes to kind of the audience alignment and on the machine learning aspect?
Yeah, I mean, there's so at Amazon Ads, so a partner team of mine has been investing a lot in how we think about leveraging generative AI, right? And how do you make it easy for, obviously that's the term of the probably the decade, right? But how do you make it easy for brands to create and innovate? And then within the DSP, we have our own creative team as well, and we're leveraging a lot of the core capabilities that they are to really continue to extend that, thinking about where you can pair a lot of that audience-based creative, to the right person. And then we're also investing a lot in a lot of our deals capabilities. So we announced some of our new guaranteed deals with Twitch and STV today. And then Amazon Publisher Cloud is one that I'm also really excited about. I think there's a nice way to really kind of tie together publishers who are looking to connect with more advertisers and extend their reach and deliver unique deals. And this is going to give them more insight, right, where you can layer on Amazon Ads audiences and then be able to more seamlessly connect deals for marketers of all sizes. I think a lot of times deals kind of often have a bit of a hurdle, and we're really aiming to automate that and streamline it for all types of marketers moving forward.
That is amazing. I mean, piecing everything together. You have the, exact checkout purchase, and then we can go as high as the awareness of, hey, we're serving this video ad during Thursday night football.
Totally.
And then being able to tie it all together. We now have the analytics to do it, the ability to target. I mean, there's not a lot missing now when it comes to the Amazon advertising journey.
We're excited. I mean, I think, next year's going to be transformative, right? With the everyone's talking about the loss of cookies and what that's going to do for advertising, but we really think of this in the positive. we think this is a good opportunity for us to, reinvent how we're reaching people in a privacy safe way, how marketers can leverage all of the available signals. And the nice thing is, there's not too few, there's way too many, right? And so I think that's where we're really committed to helping marketers with things like modeled audiences, where you can take any of your first party data, right? So any data that you might have about your customers from CRM, layer that on with third party data and then we can help you with probabilistic audiences, right? Who are you likely to reach? And we've seen really, really great improvement as well, up to 25% more delivery, which we were really surprised to see such positive improvements as well. So it's going to be an exciting year.
Exciting year. Sure. I'm wondering how you get any sleep.
Yes, with the jet lag, not too much this week, but maybe next week. Although I'll have my 3 children with me, so maybe just wishful thinking. But
100%. Our team plays a little bit game.
Yeah.
Who can come up with like the quickest Amazon advertising updates? Like every day, like 7 a.m. Like everyone's scrolling through ad consoles, scrolling through all the news releases, and it is a lot, and it's exciting.
That's great to hear.
I think it gives a lot of people a competitive advantage, to test all the new things that are rolling out, and first movers really make a difference on Amazon.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, and we're excited for partners like yourselves and customers who are really leaning in, right, and embracing what the world's going to look like next year. And we really think the people that are leveraging AMC audiences to do that are going to have an advantage, because clean room technology is just going to transform when you can layer on all of these different audiences how people are connecting. So it's going to be fun, and I applaud you all for trying to stay on top of all of the updates. It's a lot, but exciting to see that we're continuing to innovate and ship, which is what matters at the end of the day.
I think a lot of people forget that you all are planning for 5, 10, 15 years from now, right? And that's what makes it so exciting, is everything you're rolling out really paints that picture, like you said, on the cookieless technology and what all we're going to be able to access on the audience side. Everyone's going to have an opportunity to really directly connect and to be a little bit more disruptive, but even backing into the creative side. I think it's going to be really cool to see how we innovate in that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think if you look at, kind of the last decade of mobile and video, moving forward, it's going to be fascinating, just the speed and the pace, I think, that more and more folks are adopting video and connected TV. And so we're hoping to really, to your point, lay that foundation of, how do you think about planning, right? How can you use Cross-Channel Planner in a way to help reach the right people? How do you think about layering on the right audiences and building the right audiences, and then giving you more control to measure, because it's complex and fragmented, but it's going to be fun. This is the next transformation.
Well, thank you so much for hopping on. We're super excited about this.
Thank you both. I appreciate it.
Hello, Jeff.
Hi, Destiny.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's really energizing to be here. I didn't really sound like I was energized when I said that, but it's really energizing to be here. It's so great to see you. It's so great to see your team. It's so great to be with the community and to kind of connect, right? Like, this is my version of like social happy hour.
It's like seeing all of your LinkedIn friends in real life and they actually like you. It's amazing. You get to walk down the floor and it's all these people that you followed and that you've connected with, and having the opportunity to grab coffee with them or to even run in and have a quick conversation. It's really nice.
You know, it's funny. You and I have talked about this offline, but I'll say it on your podcast. We put on posts sometimes like, oh, if you see us, say hi. So last night at the happy hour, I was just walking by and this lady said hi, and I said hi, and we started talking, and she's like, well, I've been following you and you said to say hi, so I wanted to just say hi. And I don't know that people truly understand how much both you and I appreciate those type of interactions, because we work hard to produce, develop, and share what we share, and it's great to hear the feedback from everybody and how it impacts them. So
100%. I'd also say I'm always surprised by the reach, because an average post will get 8,000 to 10,000 impressions, maybe 100 likes, but you'll have people come up and they'll be like, we incorporated your strategy and immediately changed our business.
Yeah, we call them
trained our team.
The lurkers. They're watching us, but they're not commenting. So more of you should like and comment.
Like it. We need some engagement. It keeps us in business.
Yeah.
I do love, the opportunity to connect at conferences. I think unBoxed is always an amazing one because it also comes with a lot of exciting opportunities from the news front. There's always announcements and changes, and I think something that you and I have really invested in is just keeping everyone up to date, because there's typically a pretty big disconnect. I mean, I always joke, like, I only manage Amazon advertising and I still get overwhelmed. Brand managers have to deal with every single aspect of succeeding on Amazon or potentially off Amazon, and how you keep up with all of that is insane.
Yeah, and I think, like, one of the things people should think about, right, is not always the newest announcements. Wait, Jeff, you're on this podcast to talk about the newest announcements, and you're telling me not to think about them. But we also have to think about, like, what's been developed over time. And I think, like, one of the things to be thinking about, like, Amazon, when new products come out at Amazon, they're tested, and then they're, invested in, and then they're scaled. And so you take a product that near and dear to both of us, like Stores or Post, right? And, like, they're totally different today than they were 3 years ago. And they've evolved into being a great product for brands that brands should be using. They're not on the stage. They're not being talked about at a show like this on the stage, because there's not a new announcement about them. But it's also great to remind yourself of some of the other levers, depending on where you are listening to this, that you may want to pull to help grow, your audience and discover new shoppers.
100%. I think everyone has this crazy expectation that every new product is going to be perfect for their brands, and it's just not true. I think there's so many different developments for every single stage of the journey. Amazon Post is a fantastic one you called out. My favorite part is that it's evergreen, and it's easy to syndicate all of your content up, and it's an opportunity to get a ton of impressions for no cost. So it's absolutely amazing to be able to tie in that full audience. But like you said, in the beginning, a lot of people maybe didn't utilize it because they maybe didn't have the creative. But now you have the opportunity to go back and say, hey, I can run an Amazon Post, which can potentially gain followers, which then can allow me to reach out through customer engagement. So it's this whole funnel within one simple product.
Yeah, and I think that when you look at, like, a new announcement like sponsored TV, right? When you look at something like that, it may not work for your brand today. And but it's something you should be keeping an eye on and understanding how it works. Maybe testing it, when it's appropriate. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that I don't think any of us at Amazon want you to use everything that we have. We want you to use what's right for your brand and for your media mix and for driving the results that you need for your business. And I think that's what's really critical and important to understand, is that Amazon has a lot of customers, shoppers, advertisers, and there's different ways to reach them, and there's different tools that you can use, and different brands will use a different mix of the different tools. And we want to do two things. We want to make it easier for people to use it, right? Like things like sponsored TV and democratizing it. We want to make it less cumbersome to use, like generative AI and being able to create images faster and better. But then ultimately, we want to be able to provide the measurement to know that what you're doing is working correctly.
And I'm pretty sure we covered every single one of those in today's announcements.
Yeah.
I want to throw out one thing that you told me a while ago, and it's always stood out, is that Amazon's thinking much further ahead than we ever are. So when a new tool's rolled out, it's always, hey, how can I implement this immediately, right, from the brand side? But in reality, Amazon's planning for 3, 5, 10 years from now. And I think that's where it really starts playing into the creative rollouts we're getting, or the efficiency improvements, or, all of the insights that we're now able to gather through AMC. It's very early on, and it can feel like a lot, but I think what brands really need to understand is how this is going to play into the future of their business. You can't probably maximize all of AMC immediately unless you have the appropriate analytics team, right? But you can use some of the templated analytics and start dipping your toes in and planning for what it looks like 3 to 5 years from now.
Yeah, and I think that Amazon, one of our principles is that we're okay being misunderstood for a long period of time, right? We're willing to make investments for the long term. I think one of the biggest examples of that is like what we're doing with Project Kuiper, right? It has nothing to do with advertising, but I think it's a great example of how Amazon thinks, right? I mean, Amazon's been investing in low orbit satellites for a number of years, but like the first launch really just occurred, a few months ago. But it's that vision of like how it can really change, in great ways that Amazon's willing to invest in. And so you've seen that with our investment in measurement. You've seen that with our investment in studios and all of the content that's now being produced. You've seen that with things that have worked, and you've seen that with things that have not worked, right? Amazon's not afraid to fail. I often joke about the Fire Phone, right? Like, we thought that would be a big deal. It wasn't. But there's plenty of failures that we've had along the way, but all of those lead to a reinventing of industries and of challenges and of problems that people are facing, which is ultimately with the goal when we get bringing us back to advertising and developing shoppers or finding new shoppers for our products, is helping the advertisers reach a wider audience, and then being able to measure that success correctly. And AMC is multi years in the making, right? Even though it was just released 2 years ago and more heavily released last year, it's still early in its overall life cycle as a new product in this overall measurement world. But it tends to lead us to this idea that we can see full funnel advertising, and we can understand how our ads are working and how they're pulling different levers along the way, and which of those are truly impacting our business.
Yeah, 100%. I think we could probably have a whole nother podcast just on the mental models with Amazon. And that's something that I feel like you and I do pretty well, because we've been on all sides of the business and we stay really close to the industry, is, how you connect Amazon's vision with a brand's day to day. And I think that's why we get a little bit philosophical in everything we're always talking about. And we always tie in mental models for that reason, because it helps you understand every individual product and what the future of that looks like. Yeah,
and I'll just plug, put the link into, we did a whole presentation at Accelerate on mental models, so we could put the link into it, but not get into it now, and it's great content if you want to learn more about that.
100%. While we're linking out to things, definitely follow Jeff on LinkedIn. Absolute amazing influencer in the space, so give him a follow.
Appreciate that.
Thank you again for joining us today on what I hope is one of the most valuable episodes we've done all year. If someone you know would find these new ad types and announcements useful, please share the episode, and don't forget to follow our podcast wherever you listen. You'll be the first to know when we have new episodes live, and never miss out on the inside scoop around Amazon ads. Thanks again, and happy fourth quartering to all fellow advertisers and brands. Till next time, cheers.